Hello. So I wanted to shine a spotlight on kind of a short-term transit that I have going on and how that can show up and what that means. Right. So I think looking at transits can help us understand what we're doing and the context in which we're doing things. So it's kind of like it gives some sort of understanding and meaning to what is going on. And we tend to a lot of times focus maybe on the long-term aspects, but there's a lot of short-term aspects that we've got going on, that we can have going on as well. So I was looking at my transits and I wanted to talk about a transit that is maybe not as strong now, but Mars was strongly trine my Mercury, and it's kind of coming out of it, but I wanted to discuss it because it was interesting the way that matched up with my day-to-day experience recently. So when it was a tighter transit, I started to come to this place for walks, and it was like something in me was allowing myself to put more energy into going out and about and things like that. So if you think of Mercury is our day-to-day experience of maybe short-term travels and our day-to-day experiences of our thinking patterns, and Mars can be quite assertive and action-oriented. So I felt like there was a drive in me, Mars, to go to a different place that I hadn't been on my own before, and to make a video and read my book and kind of get out of my usual environment. And it was kind of interesting that the Mars trine Mercury transit was present at that time, because it's like it seems like such a small transit, just Mars trine Mercury. It seems very everyday, but the more you track and follow and look at these more everyday short-term transits, the more you can understand about astrology and your life. So with this transit, it was like the consciousness of my Mercury was almost being given a push and a boost by Mars, right? Mars is quite assertive, and it wants to give a boost and get going. So it was like I just decided, okay, I'm going to go out on a walk to this place that I hadn't been on my own, and I've done it since then as well. But I kind of noticed the first time that I came to this place on my own, I noticed then that I had this transit. So I started coming to this place and making videos and reading, and it was like opening up my mind, and my Mercury was kind of being opened up by this Mars. A boost was being given, right? As an assertive boost was being given. But another way that Mars trine Mercury can show up and has shown up in me with this transit is that it can also make your thinking a little bit, it has to do with your thinking being a little bit more assertive, even if it is not reflected in you doing certain actions. You might be thinking faster, you might be thinking in a way where you can't sleep. Alright, I had a couple of nights where that happened. It was like a boost was being given so much that I just couldn't fall asleep. And you might associate that with something like a square aspect, but it's not that trines are always inherently positive. It was just that a boost was being given, and the boost was so strong to my Mercury that I couldn't stop thinking in bed. I couldn't stop thinking, and so this has happened a couple times recently, that I couldn't stop thinking in bed, because my Mercury, which is my thinking processes, were boosted so much by Mars that it was like my energy levels just went higher in my own thinking, if that makes sense. So it was like just there was positives and negatives to the transit. So the positives were that I went and kind of expanded my mind a little bit more. I went on a walk, like a short trip, or in a little bit further from the house. Just it's to do with short trips, like Mercury is more to do with the short trips, so I didn't go abroad or anything. So that was the positive, and then the negative was that I sort of found it difficult to fall asleep because my thinking was so energized. So yeah, I will suggest, I should say, looking at your shorter term transits as well and seeing how they kind of match up with your day-to-day experience. It's kind of fascinating to look at sometimes, right? To see the bigger picture. And if you want more from me, do subscribe, leave a like if you enjoyed this, and comment if you have any observations of your own or thoughts about this. Thank you for watching.